The art of happiness. I meditated on these words. Art. Alpha, recording in time and space. Alpha, the realm of spirit, as above, so below. Happiness. Happening in beingness. The art of happiness. See only God. The art of happiness is a tapestry we paint with our thoughts, our words, our deeds. The art of happiness is a mold we create for our life with our mindset, and the joy of the Lord fills it. When we are in the joy of the Lord, joy being the motor of life, we are living the art of happiness. It is a choice to be or not to be. To be happy, make others people happy. Chris Prentice wrote a book called Zen and the Art of Happiness. There is story after story after story in here about his mindset. His mindset can be easily surmised in a quote from the Bible. All things work for good for those who love God. When we love God and obey that first commandment with our entire mind, body, and soul, we experience God, the geometry of divinity in our worlds, and we create a wonderful tapestry of the art of happiness. In his book, he explains one story where he talks about the power of the mind and his mindset. And his mindset basically is look for the good in everything, in everyone, in every situation. So he's just got a brand new car. You can all feel that feels like a brand new car, right? It's parked in his driveway. He lives in Malibu, California. It's behind his house, and a big, old, jalopy-looking van comes trucking down the laneway and hits the front fender of his car. He describes in the book there's two actions he can take. He could go out there with his dukes up and beat this guy up. The other guy gets mad and they duke it out. They end up in jail, and he goes on to say what that scenario would bring. And then this is what he chose to do. He goes outside and he sees the man almost in tears. In the car is his wife and his son, and they're almost in tears. It's obviously don't have a lot of money about the vehicle they're driving, but he explains in Italian, he's an immigrant, he just arrived in California, he doesn't have a job with the authority, he doesn't know what he's going to do, he doesn't have insurance to cover his car. Right. So Chris says, don't sweat it, it's okay. So what do you do for a living? So the man says that he's a builder, right? He goes, oh, I know about construction. I have a friend of mine that's also a builder. I'll see if I can get you a job. He goes to the house, calls his friend, gets the man a job. 2 months later, the man shows up to pay for the fender. He says, no, please don't. This is a great story. Every time someone asks me what happened to my fender, I tell them the story of how wonderful it all turned out. And so what are the chances of this individual meeting Chris Prentice had he not hit his car? I would say slim. So, but Chris's mindset allowed this beautiful experience to happen. He speaks of another experience where he's looking for rocks for his rock garden. And they live in California, they get to a ravine, he's with his son, and he sees a beautiful rock. And that's it. So he's trying to get it, and he can't get it, so he gets underneath the rock, and he's trying to jimmy it. And he's in a ravine, and his foot slips, and at the same time, the rock lets go. The rock weighs 100 pounds, lands directly on his head, squishes him, like those Bugs Bunny cartoons we used to watch. Well, that's what happened to Chris Prentice. He gets squished in, his whole body gets compressed, he can't breathe, he's in the mud, and he says in the book, I bet you know what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking when I read that, I have no idea what you're thinking, right? He said, right, I'm thinking, what good is going to come out of this? I thought, this is a man who walks his talk. But the good thing that came out of that for him is he had been a student of the I Ching for years and years and years. He never quite got it. I Ching, for those of you who do not know, is the Book of Changes in China, the only book that survived all the burnings of all the different dynasties, known to be written by Lao Tzu and Confucius. And so he's been studying that Zen Buddhist way of being, but he never got it. Well, after this rock hit him on the head, he got it. And he wrote 6 books after that on the I Ching, the Wu Wei pen name for his I Ching books. And he said, I would gladly accept 100-pound rocks on my head to get that level of consciousness that I got in understanding the teachings I was studying for years before that. And surprisingly, for that kind of experience, he was very placable with himself in bringing forth his healing that he needed, very little time spent in the hospital, and no serious side effects. This book is a gem. I highly recommend it. Now, Mother Mary and the Goddess of Liberty has also given us a major key to the art of happiness, the Immaculate Concept, holding it for ourselves and for everyone we meet. Now, the Goddess of Liberty says, see the Buddha, and the Buddha will respond. Now, one of my friends parked a car in a major, big city, and she got out of the car and started walking. And she heard someone walking behind her. And the hair went up on the back of her neck. She knew she was in danger. So she picked up the seat. And the man picked up the seat. She started crying. He started crying. So she had to think fast. So the guy up beside her, she grabbed his arm. Oh, thank God you're here. Pretend you're my boyfriend. Somebody's following me and they're going to hurt me. So what did the guy do? Pretended to be your boyfriend and then walked away. So an aggressor needs a victim, right? She wasn't a victim. So he couldn't be an aggressor. The Immaculate Concept. She saw the Buddha, and the Buddha shone forth in that situation. The art of happiness. As our beautiful Marcia said, expect the unexpected and celebrate. I believe that is what life is about, celebration. The art of happiness is not an easy journey, but it's a joyful one. How will you color the legacy of your life? And what beautiful tapestry of art of happiness will you leave? Always victory, my friends.